안녕하세요. 저는 그랜드바라입니다. Thank you for everybody that has stayed. I know you've been sitting down on your very tortuously uncomfortable seats for the past number of hours. And I have to give a big thank you to the team here in Klaytn, in particular one individual, Yoshi, who has helped and worked day in, day out like the rest of the team here to put this event together and obviously coordinate with all the ISPs. So I stand beyond humble before you to be presenting all the way from Ireland and to have travelled here on St. Patrick's Day, having landed on Sunday. Yeah. But, you know, I just got on a flight, I didn't do much, but I did get to celebrate the national holiday here at the embassy, which was a very, very nice experience. So South Korea for me kind of became aware of it, not just from the football team in the World Cup in 2002, but also from a lot of customers that came here when I launched my first blockchain company, which is a Bitcoin company in 2013. So when I began to see that a lot of activity was coming from Korea, I traveled over here for the first time in 2017 and became exposed to the culture here in the wonderful Republic of South Korea. Many people may not be aware, like Korea, Ireland is also divided in a north and south border from Imperial Britain. So I do take a lot of inspiration from being here and from learning about your culture and your history and your pre-civilized language. Other than a couple of words that I know, I don't know much else. But so I suppose I want to present here to you the whole notion and idea. While I am from a small country, I do have big ideas and I'm a global citizen. Not just wearing the football jersey as a joke, I actually discovered 2 months ago that there is actually a player in Ireland called Festy, which was a funny coincidence. But the story behind Festy is actually a story of opportunity. So Festy Ebelsili emigrated to Ireland. His family emigrated to Ireland from Nigeria back in the 90s. So similarly, I suppose between Festy's connection in Ireland, which is 15,000 or so kilometers away in South Korea, you know, we see this as an opportunity, and we really thank, you know, the Koreans and our local hospitality here and everybody and our hosts as well. So I suppose why Festy, or what is Festy? So Festy came about during some work that I did volunteering in music festivals back in the UK, a particular festival called Boomtown. My job in Boomtown was to basically drive kind of the ambulance and control the welfare service for people that would consume too much alcohol and have quite a negative experience, and try to cheer them up and give their experience a little bit happier and a little bit safer. One of the things that I noticed while I was experiencing this music festival was the wristband, which would look something like this, you know, not as nice as mine, but which looked something like this. It had just a QR code, but there was no interactivity and there was very little technology involved in a greenfield site, which is essentially composed of a number of stages, vendors. It's a little ecosystem actually of this particular festival had 65,000 people. I understand it that a lot of festivals here in Korea, K-pop is very popular, you know, they extend beyond 100,000 people. So how can we make the festival environment and live music environment, well, safer first of all, but also more equitable for the shareholders involved, which is to say the organisers and the musicians and the artists behind it. So you could sum up the problems that exist within the festival setting as ticketing fraud. So we witnessed firsthand a lot of people being sold these tickets that were not real. They might have been burned for £300, £350, £400. And this is definitely one solution that we can solve. The second one is cash flow. So when you're trying to dispense cash within a greenfield site for 100,000 people, you would think that there might be something more intuitive, but actually it's basically driving an ATM into a van onto the field, and you see people queuing up for 3 or 4 hours trying to get cash out, a maximum of £100, £150, and paying fees of up to £5. So, you know, that's one issue, especially as well for vendors and merchants who are selling goods. They're accepting cash, which is a risk for theft and security. And also, this last one here is just like fan engagement. This is also like ways in which we can communicate to as a kind of form of loyalty to the consumers and festival goers. So that is what Festy is. It's trying to use blockchain technology to provide this more human, intuitive payments and ticketing solution for music festivals. Where did this start? So we integrated our first music festival with the Live Nation Festival in the Republic of Ireland. It's the largest of its kind. It's about 55,000 people. This is our old wristband for that particular event, which is a blue and green wristband. And what we did there was basically provide a kind of food token, or an idea like it was kind of our own chain, like we just kind of set it up, like it wasn't like public or anything like that, and we were just experimenting at the time. That was September 2017. So we kind of went on there and thought, okay, a typical Festy user who attends a music festival, well, what else is it that they enjoy? What else do they like? They also tend to go to artisan cafes and food vendors. They like flat whites, coffees, espressos, but they also, drink beer or craft beer in all these different bars. So we made a partnership with Irish Pubs Global, which is a network of 7,000 Irish pubs globally. We have the Wolfhound in Itaewon here, and Shenanigans in Itaewon, if anyone has had the pleasure of being on their sticky floor walking around spilled beer and drunk young students. So we actually integrated with the Lord Mayor's mansion in Dublin for this particular event, which was very interesting for us to be exposed to all these Irish bars around the world who came to collectively to Dublin. So it's kind of meant to be a video here, but it's basically kind of the user flow behind another festival which we integrated with, which was South by Southwest. So SXSW, which actually just happened last weekend in Texas, Austin. It's the most, I suppose, lucrative festival in the world. It makes more money than the Super Bowl does. And what we did there was we took part in the trade show, and we were kind of giving out merchandise, but in order to do so, you had to purchase the merchandise using a Festy token on the wristband, which again was just playing around with the kind of ability to how can we extend our service, how can we really use blockchain. So around that was kind of understanding data, understanding payments, of course, and building out a point of sale system. This is some photographs from a Portuguese artist who voluntarily came up with her entire sound system and played a live concert with us. We also had a few other major Irish artists that took part in that as well. This was Samsung, who interviewed my colleague over there. The woman and a guy interviewed us, which was quite cool, and that's again kind of reinforcing the idea that, well, this technology is kind of needed more in Asia and continents like Africa and South America than it is in North America and Europe. So that's kind of a very interesting thing. They came to us, we didn't come to them. So we then partnered with a cryptocurrency called Dash. Dash wanted kind of more use of their token rather than just speculative investment and to be used as a digital cash. So we integrated for live music concerts in Ireland. This was kind of one of them in a bar in Cork, where I'm from. And the whole experience there was, well, giving out the wristband, allowing people to top up via an ATM on site, and then to be able to spend this within the bar setting. What was nice about this one is we accepted a lot of sponsors, drink sponsors, who were actually able to understand the data behind what people were buying, what they were drinking, were they taking part in the promotional beers, and if not, why not, and what age groups were they, etc. So that was the first time we actually saw Festy more as pivoting towards a data company rather than just a simple payments or payments token, like there are already many examples out there, like Bitcoin or Lightning or something like that. So this is kind of, again, just some examples of the application, which you could top up and withdraw in Bitcoin. At the time it was Bitcoin, Ethereum and Dash. And these are some of the data analytics that we produced from it and served them then to the drink sponsors who were involved at the event. So, kind of, loosely our roadmap is basically to develop on the Klaytn blockchain. We will be producing a smart contract, which is actually quite simple for us because we've always been Ethereum guys, so it's based on the public Ethereum network, so we can just get this smart contract audited in June and actually issued this in July, and keep going with our integrations, keep going building and developing our product and actually bringing this to a market which far exceeds Ireland and Europe, but around the world as well. In July we'll also have like club membership, so these like clubs back home will be using this for ticketing and as well as payments, and this will all be rolled out in the next few months. So that's kind of all from me. If you want to contact me, you can. It's graham@festy.ie. I'll also be around here for the rest of the evening, so please say hi. And I'm going to play a video here before I get off stage, which will show you just some of the Irishness, I suppose, the culture that we wish to instill in your minds. Thank you very much.